He also said, as we learn to free ourselves from the chaos of speed, we find balance, contentment, health, happiness, thankfulness, relaxation, or rapport with our higher nature. It is. It's totally a chaos of speed. It's a whirlwind. It's a trap. Tom and Art Rainer say, you're faced with the stark reality that your life may have too many good things. So when you're putting date nights on the calendar, or family events, or nights out with your girlfriends, or whatever it might be that fuels you and is a priority to you, don't feel guilty about it because your neighbors don't make the time to do it, or your family doesn't make the time to do it, or your sister doesn't make the time to do it. Because you know what your priorities are now, and you're going to stick to that, right? All right. Matthew 20:16 says, so those who are last now will be first then, and those who are first will be last. How can you relate that to us and to the people around us? You know, haven't you seen those people in life that just seem like they're just strolling along, enjoying everything, and you get a little bit jealous, like, how do they do that? How do they just stay so calm and collected, and they stay in the moment and just enjoy it? But then we see the people that are, got a million things to do. How am I ever going to get this done? The kids have to get stuck, or I have to get... Are you enjoying all of that? They're all good things, maybe, but you can't even enjoy them because you can't keep one thing on top of another. So a lot of the things on our schedule are good things, but the reality is that too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Just leave that there. The next thing is to take your intentions and your goals that you set and to be serious about them. And the best way to do that is to voice them out loud and put them in your journal. So there's journal questions for this week. Please do them. It's not going to take long. It'll only benefit you. It's helping you to get clarity and find out where you're really trying to go in your life. But once you start to write them down and you have an idea, go home. Tell your best friend. Tell your son, tell your daughter, tell your husband, tell your wife. Tell them what you're trying to do with your schedule, and tell them what you want for your relationships or with whoever it is. Because if you voice them out loud, it's more likely going to happen. Find someone that can hold you accountable to it too. So just because you tell a certain person doesn't mean they're your accountability partner. Who is your accountability partner as to make these changes? These are some of the hardest changes that someone could ever make. We've put these habits in place for a long time, and it's natural for us to feel guilty when we try to do things for ourselves. Being intentional is not always easy, but it's always right, because you're being intentional about what matters to you. So your intentions are in line with your values. And remember, if you can't change your values, then you must change the actions to fit your values. Okay, to finish up here, be consistent. Set the days, weeks to months in a row and keep it going. So when you're doing a family night, one time a week, set it every single week. If you're doing a date night or you're doing a girls' night, one time a month, which I would try to get to 2, and then I would try to get to 3 and keep moving up. Set it every single month. Don't just do it once. Get it right on the calendar. No excuses. But I'm so busy, I just can't do this. No. If something happens that you have to move a family night, that's fine, move it. But put it on the calendar and keep it there. Creating short-term excuses for our short-term busyness that we have is going to create that long-term dissatisfaction. So when are you going to start to make those changes? Now think about some excuses that you guys have used in the past. I mean, being busy is a main excuse, right? But what are some other excuses? I mean, everything seems important to us, so where do we draw the line? But again, you know, like Tom and Art Rainer were saying, what's more important than our relationships? I mean, why are we living? It's to be joyful and to experience the people around us. Stop comparing yourselves to others. So again, when you see other people maybe living their lives in the chaos of speed, just ignore it. You can be whoever you want to be. There's no one to dictate who you are and who you're not. The other thing too is that, I mean, nothing good comes out of comparing yourselves. So even if you're like, oh gosh, I got it all together, well, you're only putting them down, right? Or if you're putting yourself down because seems like they have it all together, that doesn't make you feel any better. So just practice not comparing for anything in life. And write down your motivation for change. And we've done that once in the beginning of the workbook, right? We wrote our motivation for what we're looking for when we're here. Do that all the time. When you set a goal, what's your reason you're doing it? What's going to keep you doing it? Maybe your motivation is because you're so unhappy right now that you just want happiness. Maybe your motivation for change is to be able to attend more of your child's activities. Maybe your motivation for change is to just spend more time with your friends. You know, what's missing that you're just not going to feel right until you do it, and it means a lot to you. Remind yourself why you're making these changes. Any questions on that? What are you all thinking right now?
Very easily done.
Right? It's the easiest thing. I told you it was easy.
Yeah, not what I meant.
Guys, this takes a lot of practice. This is something, you know, I talked about this at a women's retreat back in September. And since I voiced that out loud back then, I've been practicing it, but you find yourself all of a sudden you're in a hole again. You gotta dig yourself out, and you try again, and you try again, and you try again. But what matters more than your health and your happiness? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you practice and you practice and you practice, and it's those little changes one by one. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that tonight. Maybe I should just stay home, spend time with my family, and have a family night. And just turn off that little voice inside your head that tells you to feel guilty about it. Don't. You're going to have another opportunity to go do whatever that was. All right, let's flip to the homework so we can talk about that. Does anybody have questions on any of the recipes or anything from last week? There was some journaling to do too, so if you haven't done that, make sure you do. They're simple, quick questions. So the homework's on page 36, and we're looking at week 3. So we're gonna go fill out week 3 goals again. So what you need to do is fill out 1 to 3 goals and then put action steps for that. And what are action steps? They're doable, right? There's something specific that you can do every day and check it off. So maybe it's that you're trying to drink more water, feel a little bit more energized. That's something that you can check off. Maybe it's to schedule a date night. I mean, that's huge. I had a client recently, I just asked him, he's very focused on his nutrition, and I finally asked him, like, you know, when's the last time you had a date night with your wife? Can't remember. Well, I'm going to assign you to put 2 date nights on the calendar in January. He did. That's awesome, because that's not the easiest thing to do, and he did it. Because what matters more than that? Fill out your action steps with that. Do your week 3 journal questions, okay? Do your week 3 journal questions. I'm going to ask you about them next week. The last one is the 24-hour analysis, so flip to page 40. All right, on here, we have 24 hours in the day. I want you to write down, you don't have to do it now, you do this at home. On this side, you're gonna write down, what does your day look like right now? From midnight, oh, the 11 fell off. There's an hour missing. You guys can figure it out. Okay, what does your day look like right now? When do you get up? When do you eat? Be as specific as possible. It's broken down by the hour, okay? Over here, this blank page, this blank slate, what do you want it to look like? And don't feel like you can dream too big. I just asked my husband, don't tell him I'm telling you this. I just asked him the other day, you know, I'm like, what do you dream about? What's your vision? He's like, it would never happen, so I'm not even gonna tell you. And I'm like, do you know who you're talking to here? I'm like, come on, dream with me. And about like half an hour later, I got like a little something out of him. Well, I'd really like to do this if it could ever happen. I can make anything happen. What is it that you want? What is it that you want for your life? What makes you happy? What makes you feel aligned with your priorities? Okay? Can you do that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. How does everybody feel right now? All right, Leah's good. How about you guys? Feel like you've got something to work with? Something to go off of? Okay. So the actual homework itself is not too hard. Then you just need to take it and apply
This is date night, sorry.
it. You're together, that's huge. We can, my husband and I, we went to the financial planner last Wednesday and that was our date night. But it was still time together,
Yeah.
so I actually enjoyed it. Yes, Leah?
On Friday, I didn't use the, I didn't bring that class that you gave me before,
Yeah.
because I didn't use it on Friday. Because I didn't use
You're so strong.
Where on your schedule is take your dad out?
You know, when you call me, I push things off so I can go out to eat with you.
I love it.
But I can
You
schedule
gotta
it in.
see, yeah, schedule.
Okay. Family's a priority, I guess. All right. Well, that's all I have with you. I think that's enough, right? Okay. So go take a break, get comfortable. Hey, afterwards, so we're not only having the massage after, but if there's like just a few of you that want to stay back and just leave like a 20 to 30-second testimonial on a video for us, that would be awesome. So don't skedaddle off, okay? You gotta get Hannah. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yep.
Almond milk. Good or bad? Almond milk?
Oh, good.
Good.
Almond milk's fine. Yep. Coconut milk. Just make sure by the unsweetened. This is this week's inspiration that I'll read to you. What man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for some goal worthy of him. What he needs is not the discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. Kind of goes back to when we talked about good stress, bad stress on the first week. Is there's things that can cause some good stress because you know you're reaching towards something that's going to make you happy. But when we're just living in stress that's not bringing you anywhere, that's bad stress. All right. Let's do some yoga. Okay. Good boundary.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think that, that's Joanne's. Thank you. Try it out.
Yeah, make sure things work. I did talk to
Well, it was hooking up, yeah, I plugged it in.
No, I'm just,
I wanna be by door, it's not gonna be 5 minutes early. Just one, I didn't use the same, I didn't use the adapter.
I can move up if you want to be like this, I don't mind.
Sorry,
it over.
next to each other, but I think I'm gonna have to go up here, sorry, see you later. Next to each other. This is your date night.
Yeah, that's fine, absolutely. Well, Elaine actually just made me some homemade almond milk.
Did you do the cheesecloth, or did you?
No, I just put it in the cereal, it was really good.
Okay.
She has a Vitamix, and she just makes almond and water, right?
Raw almonds and water.
Yeah, and it was really good,
It's all I drink anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do grass fed butter, that's like the only dairy I have. I think I do cheese once in a while. I think so.
I can scoot. I do have long arms, but me.
Yeah.
Me too. I just don't want to. It was really
Cut back too much.
You're getting there, yeah. You're getting there.
Thank you for the room.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the keys, is you can't take your entire diet and crush it in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's a relearning process. You know, we grew up eating a certain way and now you're looking at all these other foods.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going on, you know, I've been practicing for like 3
Have
years
cereal.
or whatever.
Have cereal, it's good for you. Well, not so.
I know, exactly.
Well, we
What-
find it,
Yeah, what you're
Yeah.
told is good isn't, and what you're told is bad is good.
what
So
we
what
find
is it?
ourselves doing is going to Target with having to Google what it is we're looking for.
Yeah.
On the recipe, because we've never seen it before, never tried it, and all of a sudden, hey, this is pretty good.
What was it that you were looking for?
There's about 8 different things. There's different,
It
it's
was,
got some kind of relish and some.
yeah, it was kind of the Italian kind of relish that's got cauliflower and peppers and stuff all in it. It starts with a G. Of course, I'm a nurse, so I thought it was like Giardia or something.
Right.
But that's not what it is. It's something else. But it was part of a crock pot recipe that we were, for these kind of meals that are.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what you're talking about, so.
yeah. If you look in the pickle section, it's almost like an Italian. It's just a mix of all kinds of vegetables, but it's pickled. Like
It's not kimchi, is it?
no,
Okay.
no. But I suspect it's the Italian version.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah. But we spend a lot more time in the produce section.
Yeah.
And fill the cart with that.
Yep.
A lot less.
Yep. Yep.
And spices. A lot of different spices.
Yeah. And once you buy those once, you know, they last so long. I know. Well, I go to Costco and get the
Yeah,
big,
that's true too.
big ones.
Did everybody think a CSA email or something too?
Oh, yeah, I did too.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm gonna do my breathing exercises on the road.
That works too. Thank you. Alright, I'll turn the light off here in a second. I'm taking a picture of you. Just do your thing.
You need to work better on your sneak up technique.
I know. I just thought I would talk to her, she wouldn't notice. Well, hold on, I have to go like that. Okay.
I wear them all the time. Hi. Where are you gonna use these? What's that? Where are you gonna use these?
I just thought I'd give them to you.
And I might have these, but I don't know yet.
Do you want me to turn the lamp on?
Oh, I can get it.
Well, I'm right here.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be plugged in.
Oh.
That helps.
That's
What?
Yeah, that's one
That's required.
There we go.
It has a switch. Oh, it's set to.
You can move up. I'm not under the spot.
There's room now. Do you want a blanket to be on? Yeah. Does everyone have a blanket for their knees or? Excellent. So how did the mantra go last week? Did anyone find themselves using the mantra as they? Leah, how did your mantra go? Tell us.
Good.
Yeah? When did you find yourself using it? Do you want to share?
I used it when I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to school.
When you went to school? relaxing?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? So we'll use it again today and practice them 3 times. But this week we'll move on to the thought sphere. And with that, the main thing to affect the thought sphere is meditation. So meditation, I'll just touch on it because we are in a church. And I hear a lot from Christians just questioning meditation. So the Eastern meditation is emptying your mind, detaching yourself from the world. And the Christian view of meditation is emptying your mind of worrisome thoughts and attaching it to God. So it all depends on how you meditate. It's very Christian, it's biblical that Christians should meditate. So it's a much needed practice in the Western world, definitely. So we'll do a practice together, and then of course a breath practice. We'll have a mantra in our practice, and we'll add meditation at the end. So a little bit about the science of meditation. So we all have times when our thoughts are racing, going around and around in our head, and we can't complete one thought before another one comes in. Anyone not have that problem?
No.
Okay, so our brain's busyness in making these thoughts can be measured. It's an EEG. You've probably seen pictures of tiny little suction cups all around people's scalps and heads. That measures their brainwave activity. So when you're thinking, when you're anxious, when you're multitasking, you're in beta wave, and that's about 13 to 30 cycles per second of electric activity going on in your head. When you're in a more relaxed state, an alert calm, that's alpha waves, and that is about 8 to 12 cycles per second. And in that state, it's very good for inspiration, it's very good for learning facts. So that's what we want to strive for, and that's what meditation can do for us. So, all right. So when we can get rid of the noisy and worried thoughts, our mind becomes quiet and we feel more content with our life. We can be in the present moment. We're not overthinking the past, we're not overthinking the future. We're just thinking enough to be present and enjoying what's going on for us right now. Oh, and I just want to talk about the part of the brain that's affected most by stress, the hippocampus, and that's the area where we remember and we learn. And if it's also most affected by the stress hormone cortisol. So if we are overstressed and in chronic states, the hippocampus can actually shrink, but the brain, the body is resilient, and we can get that back by what we're going to do tonight. So that's the science of this yoga part of meditation. So let's get ready and do the practice, and then we'll do a little bit of meditation after pranayama. So please start out by lying down on your backs. Please use the blanket folded thinly underneath your head if you want to relax your neck, if you carry tension in your neck and your shoulders. And if you need an extra blanket, either underneath your neck or rolled up underneath your knees, if you have lower back issues, I've got extra blankets. Please just wave at me and let me get you the most comfortable you can be. Okay. So we're going to start out with a belly breath again. One hand on your belly. As you inhale, feel the belly rise. As you exhale, feel the belly fall. as you're here, just check in with the parts of your body, from the crown of your head down to your toes. Let them release. Let them relax. As your mind wanders, and it will, just gently guide it back to your breath. Few breaths on your exhale, really pull your belly into your spine, activate the core muscles. And this is the breath we'll use throughout our practice to protect our lower back. You can keep your eyes closed. Please bring one knee into the chest, followed by the other, nice and slow. Hug them into your body. And we'll start with knee to chest pose. So the upper back, the lower back sinks into the mat and stays. One hand on each knee. Keeping the knees folded just like they are. It's a very slight movement. On your inhale, your arms push your knees away from your body just until the arms are straight. And on the exhale, pull the knees into the chest, pull the belly in. Very slight movement, focusing on stretching the lower back. And follow your breath. Slow the movements down if you can. Slow the breath down. Inhale, knees move away, arms are straight. Exhale, pull the belly in and pull the knees to the chest. We'll do just one more. And then you can put your hands on the mat and roll over slowly to your right side. Stay in this position just for a breath or two. This is a nice relaxing position. Bring the knees close to your body. And then gradually make your way onto your hands and your knees. Please place the blanket underneath your knees for protection. So if you're here, knees are underneath hips. Wrists are underneath shoulders. Fingers are spread out nice and wide to protect our wrists. We can push down on the backs of the knuckles and at the fatty part right at the bottom of the thumb to protect the wrist. This is a very slight movement. On the inhale, you roll your shoulder blades back, you bring your heart forward, you tilt your chin up a little bit. And on the exhale, again, you pull in the core, you round your back. And start bringing your hips back to your heels, your chest to your thighs, your forehead to the floor, tucking the chin. Follow the inhale breath back up. Again, leading with your heart. Tailbone up, put a little smile in your back. Exhale, pull the belly in, tuck the chin. Hips go all the way back to the heels. Forehead reaches for the mat. And then follow your breath 2 more times. Inhale, come forward.